All right, I want to take a look right now at the Russia Ukraine situation, and I'm kind of looking at the World War III possibility, but I want to narrow the scope to Russia and Ukraine. Without going into the Middle East thing, I think that will be a reading on its own, but just so I can be clear about, what situation we're looking at. We're looking at Russia and Ukraine and the possibility of World War III. There's been an escalation in the saber rattling, and recently in an interview, Putin was saying how nuclear war was something that was conceivable. Like it was not necessarily off the table. I have not. I mean, for one, I don't speak Russian, so I couldn't find out what he really said anyway, but I haven't watched the whole interview. I should probably do that. But let's just see what we get from the cards. So the root card is the Fool, and that's the beginning of a brand new cycle. It's like something fundamentally has changed in this whole situation. And the Fool is at the beginning of like a brand new path. Okay, so the main card here is the Eight of Pentacles, and this is basically production. It's craftsman energy, but it's really about being super productive and cranking out something. I guess we'll see what that is as we look at what leads up to it and where does it go. Dang. So leading up to this sort of factory sort of production work is the Ace of Swords. And the Ace of Swords is taking full responsibility and therefore having full control of what is happening to you, right? So for Russia, this would be like taking full control. And the Ace of Swords is also like you versus the world. So this is, I guess, Russia preparing for Russia versus the world. And that leads to all of this sort of production. Now, the production looks like it leads to financial ruin and also surveillance. Of course, that's happening all over anyway, right? But in the five, this is like exile, which has also already happened to Russia, but it looks like it would happen again or maybe to a different magnitude. Um, I'm going to pull one more just to see, what this would mean or how does it get there. And we get the Seven of Pentacles. Okay. Now the Seven of Pentacles, this is the witch practicing witchcraft. It's like practicing something that you're trying to perfect. Theoretically, the seven comes before the eight. This is learning to create the thing, and this is creating the thing. Like this is learning to become a master, and here is the master just creating all day. Now, um, when we look at what sort of brings this energy to the Five of Pentacles, when we look at the seven, I'm just trying to see if there's anything deeper in the card here other than the base meaning of the seven. And I think it's the blood. So you can see the witches drawing blood from the tree here. And you can also see the blood stain on the ground by the tree. So, I'm guessing this would be like, I don't know, some sort of attack or some sort of drawing of blood that would cause them to be exiled in some way in which they're not already exiled. So it might be exiled from the larger community because there are some countries that are still doing business with them. Well, including Ukraine, actually, because the Russian pipeline goes right through there. And I think they pay Ukraine some sort of tax, to have their gas or whatever pumped through, which is interesting during a war like that. But I think there is blood spilled that causes some sort of further exile. Okay, now I'm going to see if this is outside of Ukraine, if this blood being spilled is outside of kind of the parameters of the war that's already being fought. And we get the reversed Queen of Wands. Okay, so the reverse Queen of Wands is like jealous and manipulative. So this is a leader. This is some sort of as a court card, this is more about a person or a country. Uh, and the Queen of Wands is normally like very charming, and everyone kind of loves the Queen of Wands, and they kind of need people to love them. I guess need is a strong word, but they're used to being loved and admired by people. Now, here, they're not getting that love and admiration, and it is causing them to, um, they're out of sorts, but when the Queen of Wands doesn't get the attention that she feels like she needs, then she can become very jealous and manipulative. Now, I'm just going to pull one more on this because I'm trying to find out if this is a specific person or if it is a country. It is a person. So we get the High Priestess. Now, this would be the High Priestess is like some sort of secret, sort of spiritual energy. This is probably a really well connected person and a person that would be in some sort of secret group that fucking matters, some sort of secret group that would have a great deal of power. You could probably say New World Order or Illuminati or whatever, right? But this looks like one of those people, the blood gets spilled. And I wonder actually if that is actually done by Russia or if it's just blamed on Russia. Let's just see what we get as far as that goes. Is this a setup or is this something that genuinely happens? And the Knight of Wands would show impulsive soldier energy. So I don't think it's a setup. It's more like an impulsive attack or like something that a soldier does, but it's on purpose, right? And I don't think this is a setup. So, looking at this, let's just take these off the top here so I can remember what the hell I'm looking at. So, we have this new beginning. And the new beginning happens as Russia tries to take like further control and responsibility. They start manufacturing probably weapons, right? But they're like manufacturing something here. And that leads to this sort of exile. But in this manufacturing, that is connected directly to this blood that is spilled. And it is probably a person, well connected, and it is done kind of impulsively. But that can happen with the Wands family. Now, this is interesting. This is probably not um, a command directly from Putin because Putin is not one of these wands figures. He's a sword guy for sure. And the Wands family can be very fiery and impulsive, and that is not Vladimir Putin. Like, he's more of a king of swords. So this is like a different layer, but I think it is still coming from Russia. That is interesting. Okay. Now, I guess the real question is this bringing us closer to World War III? And I'm going to pull one specifically on that. And we get a Four of Pentacles. Now, the Four of Pentacles would say maybe, but not yet. And this shows specifically fear of crossing that threshold. But here, the demon is leading the greedy rich guy across that threshold. He's resisting, but he can't resist forever, you know? So if all of these components are left as they are, eventually that would happen. Like, you can't necessarily fight time, right? And that's what is being shown here. So it would it would create the conditions to bring us closer to World War III, but there is a resistance, and that resistance probably focuses on money, money and resources and stuff, like, general rich people greed energy. But in this case, that's actually what's keeping us from entering World War III. Okay, now let's just see what else we need to know about this situation. I have to see what these two are pertaining to. Oh, there is our reversed Five of Swords. So the reverse Five of Swords is this invasion energy. It's like insult beyond that, right? It's like having been invaded, and then not only do you have no power anymore, but you're being taunted. And there's this feeling of insult that comes with having your power taken away. And here, it looks like this sort of insult energy, um, it's kind of being left in the past by somebody. In this Eight of Cups, this shows walking away from the all of this emotional baggage and negative toxic emotional energy, and just walking away from that and moving toward this Ace of Wands, which is like the new source of inspiration. It's the new baby. It's definitely like looking forward toward a new day. And this looks positive, but it doesn't happen until this energy gets completely out of control. And I mean, I'm guessing that this is showing Ukraine, or one of the parts of Ukraine, because they had been invaded, and this is like insult on top of that. So not only would you be losing part of your territory, quote unquote, but there's also like this insult on top of it. But here, this would show that energy kind of being let go of to move toward a new beginning of some sort and this new source of inspiration. That would be super cool if it were true. I think the only way that that could be true is if the leadership changed. Now, maybe that is what this is talking about, this reverse Queen of Wands. And maybe that's the blood that is spilled. I'm going to ask a yes or no to find out if this is Zelensky, because with Zelensky as the president or whatever of Ukraine, I don't see them ever like moving forward to a new day. So let's just see if this Queen of Wands is talking about Volodymyr Zelensky. And we get the Empress. Now, this is another feminine card, so maybe this is actually talking about a woman. But if I were to take this as a yes or no, the Empress is probably a yes. So between these two, is that talking about spilling the blood of Zelensky? Maybe. I guess time will tell on this. But from this whole reading, the good news is that some people are just too fucking greedy to let go of their resources that, that they would lose in the actual World War III scenario. So in this case, greed is kind of saving us from massive devastation. So I would love to hear what anyone thinks about this, especially when we look at this reverse Queen of Wands, modified by the Empress here. So if you have any ideas, feel free to let me know. That is what we have here, and peace.
Is this the end of days? Will lava fill the base? I'm gonna grab some tarot cards, let's see what they say. Who controls the press? Was Will Smith possessed? Let's shuffle up the cards and we'll see. And what about the freaking aliens? Whatever could they be? Let's ask the cards and see. Come on to my Patreon. It's only $5.